Hey everyone, I'm Jill. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. I am so excited because this video is all about the renovation I did DIY on this desk behind me. And I'm so happy I did it because I've been wanting to use marble contact paper and I always love a good bronze gold spray paint, but I finally have a workstation of my own. This desk was in rough shape. I ended up doing a side shelf that came with the desk to match. The side shelf is right now in one piece, as you can see, because that was just sitting in our basement. We were using it for storage, but the desk is in pieces because this was the desk my husband used back when he was in high school. So we actually had to take it apart to get it here, and I needed it apart to do the DIY anyway, but you can see it has nicks, it has scratches, it is in rough shape. So I am so excited with how this turned out, and if you want to see a step-by-step on how to use the contact paper that you can get right on Amazon and how to spray paint, continue watching. And if you want to see more videos of DIYs, mom hacks, and cleaning videos, please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my new content. Let's get into this. Okay, you guys, the first thing I'm gonna do is take apart this side shelf. That way it's easier to apply both the spray paint and the contact paper. I think it's a lot easier to get a smooth edge this way. And for those of you who are new here, that's my dog Riley. He is always by my side. So you will see him in almost every single one of my videos, especially my Clean With Me videos. He follows me around everywhere. And when we're outside, he is always gonna con me into a quick game of fetch. So we're just doing that while I take it apart. But then I'm gonna put him inside. That way he doesn't get hit with any of the spray paint as I go ahead and get that done so it can dry while I apply the contact paper. Okay, this is the first piece of contact paper that I applied. I recommend measuring out the exact size that you need and pre-cutting it. And I really wanted to show you my first piece of wood that I applied because I actually make a few mistakes here, and towards the end I become much better at it. So you can see this first time I'm actually trying to start off by sticking the contact paper on the bottom of the shelf and then go up the side, which isn't impossible to do, but you're gonna see I'm really struggling with how to get it straight and get no creases on the side of the wood. Later in this video, I'm gonna show you what happens when you try to stick it to the side of the shelf first, and you're gonna see it goes on much easier. The contact paper recommends that you use something like a credit card to help push out the air bubbles, and I definitely think it is very helpful on the top piece of the wood, but you're gonna see on the sides, I found that it's a lot easier if you just use your fingers. So I wanted to show you this first one in case you're starting out your contact paper and you're getting frustrated that it feels like there's air bubbles. My advice is start by pushing in the sides and then you can press down on the top and the bottom. Take your time, go slow and steady, and you're gonna be able to do it. So you can see this first attempt, I have to lift it up a lot, but then I'm gonna get it a little bit better. And I am gonna slow it down to normal speed just so you can see right here about this pace that you want to go to apply it evenly. So nice and slow, and apply firm pressure. Not so hard that you think you're gonna push through, but very firm pressure. And once you get started, this credit card really will push out any of your air bubbles. Don't worry about it. And I want to show you this one because even though I struggled in the beginning, you're gonna see once I get the hang of it, it moves pretty quickly. And I'm actually really happy with how it turned out, even this piece. To do the entire side shelf and the desk, I actually have 8 pieces of varying sizes to cover with contact paper, and this is one of the smaller sizes. So I'm not gonna bore you with covering all 8. I'm only going to show you a couple more. I'm gonna show you the top of the desk because that's the biggest piece, and then I'm also gonna show you one of the pieces towards the end where I really have the technique down, and I can show you some good close-ups with how I recommend cutting these corners so you don't get any creases in the sides. I'm also going to be really careful to show you I am cutting off little tabs on the bottom of it so the contact paper doesn't cover any of the screw holes when I am ready to put this back together. And as you can see, even this first attempt, even though it took me a long time, it came out really beautiful. But I was so wiped the first day doing this contact paper that after getting 3 boards done, I was done. So it's the next day now. I was feeling confident. I was determined to get the rest of this done. I noticed the side shelf had a little nick in it, so I wanted to touch up that spray paint, and then I still had to spray paint the desk pieces. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that before I get into any more of the contact paper. This big tabletop, I noticed, had some electrical tape covering it, and then also some of that plastic top I ended up just ripping off because it had so many chips that I didn't want the contact paper to come out uneven. All right, this time along, you can see I start off by sticking the contact paper to the side of the board first and then sticking it underneath, and I found this technique to be a lot easier to do. I'm also using my fingers instead of the credit card, and I wait until I'm doing the top to start using the credit card to press out any of those air bubbles. And I want to slow this down to normal speed just so you can see again, even though I'm going a lot faster today and feeling more comfortable with the contact paper, I'm still going to use slow and steady motions to make sure I get out all of the air bubbles and to make sure I don't have any creases. And when I was doing this piece, I was started off nervous on day one. On this day, I was feeling pretty good because that top looked awful, and seeing how it was coming out was making me so happy and so excited. Okay, over here, you can see I'm just applying a little hole and puncturing a little tiny hole in. There is just a screw top, that black button that you see, for a top shelf to connect to that piece, so I had to create just a little hole for that to be able to shine through so I could put the desk back together. Nothing to worry about, just why you're seeing that little black smudge. All right, now applying the sides is definitely what takes the longest on all of these wood boards, because even though we've done 2 of the ends, we still have to do 2 of the other sides. And this was definitely the hardest one to do because the edges were rounded, they weren't straight corners. I'm only gonna show you one of the 2 sides because even speeding this up to 800%, you can see it still takes a while, but it's pretty much the same process on the other side of just taking your time, pressing down with your fingers, making sure you get any air bubbles out. Between adding all the contact paper to the boards, I just went outside, flipped over the pieces of the desk, and applied any touch-up spray paint and this other side of the spray paint that was needed. This is the final piece of contact paper I'm going to show you, even though I had 8 boards to do. It is pretty much the same process once you get the hang of it, but I wanted to show you one more where I really show you a close-up of how I recommend getting your corners so the crease looks smooth and not like it's a piece of paper. Okay, I'm gonna show you this twice. This side is sped up, and then I'm gonna show you the other side in normal speed. It's important to remember to do both sides before you push the contact paper down on the top. All right, so you're gonna cut that bottom slit right in the corner. And if you're afraid it's gonna overlap with the side of your board, just cut a little piece off like I did, and then cut on the other corner. Now you have a side tab that you can just press flat on. And once you do this to both sides, you can go ahead and press down. And now you're not gonna have any overlapping crease marks on your contact paper edges. It's gonna look clean and smooth. At this point, it was pretty late. I think it was about 10 o'clock at night. My daughter was way long in bed. I was ready for bed, but I was determined to get these pieces all put together to get it done. So I am going to put the side shelves together myself. Then I'm gonna call in for backup and get my husband in here to put the desk together. It is a lot easier to put a piece of furniture like this together when you have two people, and I'm very fortunate that my husband is always willing to lend a helping hand. So this project was pretty easy to do. I will say it's very time consuming. You really want to go slow with that contact paper for sure to get it just right, but I am so happy with how it came out. I think it makes this desk look 1,000 times better, and I really love the look of it. So I'm gonna show you some before and after shots. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this motivates you and inspires you to either do this type of DIY project or any type of DIY project that you've been putting off or feeling nervous about. It doesn't always come out perfect, but you're gonna feel really accomplished for doing something. I know I certainly did. And now I get to look at it every single time I edit one of these videos, and it just feels great to have my own workspace. If you guys enjoyed this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up, and I would love for you to subscribe and join my community here, where we're all about the cuddles, chaos, and coffee. See you next time.